So welcome everyone to this meditation and discussion. Nice to have everyone here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for hosting.
Phil and Patricia, thank you for hosting. And yeah, nice to see you again. Let's introduce everyone. Hazel and Iona and Kenneth joining us from Findhorn, Scotland. Yeah, in sunny Scotland today. So yeah, I think let's start off with the meditation, and guide you through some breath work just to kind of kick into it, and then that'll lead us smoothly into the meditation, which is on today's workbook lesson, which we're doing as part of the Art of Letting Go program, lesson 85. It's a review lesson, so I'll guide you through that. So just make yourself comfortable. So you want to sit feet shoulder width apart. Keep your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. I'm going to do some, call it I am breathing. So it's basically variable speed breathing. And you say the affirmation I on the inhale and am on the exhale. So say that to yourself, all chanting it, just in your own mind. And I'm gonna do each breath with a count of I am. Right? So just follow the I am, and that's gonna determine the length of each inhale and each exhale. So we'll do some very slow, long breath breathing, then some medium, and then some fast, and then we'll repeat the cycle 3 times. Just to kind of get into it, and then that'll lead us nicely into the meditation. So, just to start with, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and you go, I am, exhale out through the nose. So very slow, deep, I am, exhale. Inhale, I through the nose, notice the stomach rise. I am, exhale. I am, exhale. And exhale on the am. I am. Inhale, I, exhale, am. I am. Say the words to yourself as you breathe in, I, as you exhale, am. Inhale, I, exhale, am. I 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 am. Now do it a little bit slower, so a little bit faster. So just speed it up on the count of I. Breathe in, I. Exhale, am. I am. I am. I am. I am. Just getting into the rhythm of the breath. I am. I inhale through the nose, am, exhale through the nose on the am. I 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 am. Now do it really fast. So I am. 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 And then you slow it all down again. So go into a sequence of 20 long, slow breaths. So breathe in on the I. And exhale on the M. Breathe in on the I through the nose. And exhale, M. Inhale, I. And exhale, M. Inhale, I. Exhale, M. Inhale, I. Exhale, M. And it's getting more and more relaxed with each breath. Inhale on the I, exhale on the M. Repeat I am to yourself. I am. 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 So a little bit faster now. So inhale I, exhale M. Inhale I, exhale M. I am. 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 And I am. And then quite a bit faster. So I am. 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 In and out fast through the nose. Another 20. I am. 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 And one more set. So just breathing nice, deep, slow breaths again. Inhale. On the I, notice the stomach rise, the chest rise. Subtle flow of air into the nostrils. And you exhale on the M, out through the nose. I inhale. M, exhale. I am. I am. I am. I am, I am, I am, I am, and I am, 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 I am. And once again fast, last set. So I am, 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 I am. I am, 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 I am. And another 20. I am, 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 I am. I am, 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 I am. And just finishing off with 10 deep, slow breaths. I am, I am, I am, I am. Just relaxing into the breath. I am, I am, I am, I am. And so just keeping that nice, deep, slow, rhythmical pattern of the breath going. If you want to, you can remind yourself, I am, as you breathe. Or just focus on the breath. Put all your attention on the subtle sensations of the breath, the stomach rising, the chest rising, subtle flow of air in through the nostrils, and out through the nostrils. Getting more and more relaxed with each breath. And now in this very present I am state, just consider these lessons for review today. The first one is lesson 69. My grievances hide the light of the world in me. So just breathe in, take a nice deep breath in, and bring to mind any grievances that you're holding. So that's any negative thought and emotion towards anyone or anything is really a grievance. Typically associate grievances with issue that you have with someone or some person or some group of people. Someone's done something to you that you didn't like, that hurt you. And so you hold on to that and you create a negative mental and emotional contraction around the situation based on your perception of it. So what the grievance does is it shows you what is not there and hides from you what you would see. Recognizing this, say to yourself, what do I want my grievances for? If you're honest as you observe the thoughts and emotions that go along with grievances, the body sensations, just breathe into all that too. Create some awareness, some space to observe it. And you observe what it feels like. And if you're honest with yourself, it doesn't feel particularly good, does it? Quite limiting, contracted, constricting, unpleasant mental, emotional and sensations in the body. So observe all of this with some awareness, calm, equanimous awareness, and simply observes, because that state of awareness from which you're observing, that observing presence, the witnessing presence, is what will save you from these grievances. You go more and more into that presence, breathe in the presence of the light. You can imagine the light flowing into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind that works for you. And then just be willing to let go of the grievance. Whatever it is, it's just a thought, it's a feeling, an emotion and a sensation in the body. Recognizing that grievances keep you in darkness, in limited awareness, and hide the light of your true awareness. Grievances and light or true awareness cannot go together. But light or true awareness has. Light and vision must be joined for you to see. So just on the exhale, just blowing the grievance away like a black smoke out of your mouth, just leaving your body, leaving your energy system, expelling it all out to nothingness as really is with the breeze of your breath. Finding a sense of peace and stillness. If you lay your grievances aside, you must see. You must have true perception. Say to yourself, to perceive. I want to perceive truly. This will be the means by which I will succeed. Okay, and breathe in. Observe maybe there's still that grievance or another grievance lurking in your mind, in your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy system. So just breathe in some light, some spacious awareness. Breathing it into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind. And to help you let go of any further grievances you notice, observe them and say, let me not use this as a block to sight or true perception. Because that's what you do when you hold the grievance. You're using it to block your awareness of the truth. So breathe in the light, which is really true awareness, but you can visualize light and that works for you. To every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, say, light or true awareness of the world will shine all of this away. So breathe in the shining, radiant light. Just washes your mind clean of all these crazy ideas sponsored by the ego, which you believed in. Exhale, blowing them away. The breeze of your breath to the nothingness they really are. Lower stomach into the spine. Remind yourself you have no need of grievances, now or ever. They do not serve any purpose. They merely block your sight, put you in the darkness, limited awareness, unaware of who you really are, unaware of what reality is. Say, I have no need for this anymore. I want to see. So, breathing in again. Remind yourself that your salvation or awakening comes from me. This is a statement of explicit truth. Within your own mind is the source of awakening, not in your ego mind, but in truth. So today I'll recognize, go within and look in your mind, that calm, quiet, empty place hopefully you've established over the last 20 minutes. That's where your awakening is. So recognize where it is, nowhere outside of you, not in the world. Not in any other person, possession. None of that is going to work. It only lies within you, the deepest part of your mind. To say it is in me because its source is there. It has not left its source. So it cannot have left my mind. So I will not look for it outside myself. Instead, breathe it in. It's within you. The breath just activates your awareness of this inner light, this inner presence. If you like, you can visualize golden and white light flowing up your spine. Say to yourself explicitly, I will not look for it outside myself. It does not lie in any of the forms of the world, people, places, events, circumstances, possessions. None of these things will save you, will awaken you. Only the deepest core of your being, which we call God, love, or pure forms of awareness. And just accept that. It's not found outside and then brought in. You cannot find it in any of the images of the world, any of your beliefs in these images. If you notice any of those cropping up, again, breathe in, hold them briefly, notice the thoughts, the emotions, the body sensations. And you exhale. Blow it all out. And it will go and surrendering into the knowledge that lies within you. And within you, it will reach beyond just you into infinity and eternity. It's the implication. And from this place, everything perceive or reflect the true awareness that shines in me and in itself. If any remaining grievances are there in your mind, you notice anything obscuring this deep peace, remind yourself, let this not tempt me to look away from me, from my salvation, to look outside of me and blow it all away. I will not interfere with my awareness of the source of my salvation. And this has no power to stop me from awakening. That firm determination. Just rest in peace and stillness. In this deeper part of your mind, there's nowhere else to go, there's nothing else to do. Nothing else to think about. Just breathe, focus on the breath, relax, be still and sink inwards to the only place you'll ever find salvation. Place in your mind where you are awake to the presence, eternal presence of love, or pure formless awareness. The words are just pointers to a state of mind, a state of being. So let yourself surrender into that state of mind or being. Just sink inwards for the next couple of minutes. Nothing else to do, nowhere else to go, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, and be still. Sinking inwards to the peace of God. It's been called the peace of God or the peace of love that passes all understanding. And sinking inwards and watching your breath, observing the breath flowing in and the breath flowing out of the nostrils. Observe the subtle sensations of the breath in the nose that keep your mind completely in the present, which is the portal to eternity, and just rest in that space, quiet, calm emptiness for the next couple of minutes of deep contemplative silence. If any thoughts arise, seem to disturb this deep peace, just observe them and remind yourself that my grievances hide the light or true awareness of the world. So, let this go. My true awareness will shine all of this away. I have no need for this. There's no power to stop me from awakening right now, so exhale, blow it away. It helps you imagine it's like a cloud just drifting by, blowing it away with the breeze of your breath to the nothingness that it really is. And then sink back into this deep, quiet, calm, peaceful state. Pure awareness, pure formless awareness of perfect love. This is the name of God, the state. So just be in it, experience it fully, surrender to it. Next couple of minutes of deep silence. energy subsides back down into the front channel of your body. It's coming to rest in your lower stomach and your groin. Just notice on the count of 2 the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Noticing what you're feeling with your hands touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth. Smell in your nose, notice that. Notice what you're hearing. Surrounding environment. Whatever the sounds are, sights, smells. Just observe them without judgment. Without judgment and interpretation, then the true awareness that is beyond form, pure formless awareness, remains in your mind. This remains the underlying awareness, the base state, the ground of being. It's been called many things. It underlies all sense perceptions. It keeps you rooted in a peaceful, loving state of mind. And so on the count of 3, you open your eyes. Take a minute to look around. All your senses are engaged, and just observe various things, people in the room, in this state of pure formless awareness. So without mental interpretation, without judgment, everything's really the same. The underlying peaceful awareness. Notice that underlies everything. And stay rooted in that for the rest of the session. To help you do that, just keep some attention on your breath. So if you just keep a little bit of awareness on a nice rhythm, inflow and the outflow of your breath, that helps you to stay connected to that awareness. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the meditation. So we have a little check-in. Anyone like to share anything?
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Lovely.
Yeah, it was quite a long one. That was over 40 minutes.
What?
Yeah, 42 minutes, according to my recording. Doesn't feel like it.
Proves in just places timeless.
Yeah, you lose track of time. It's like
No.
time doesn't really have a meaning. There, there's no sense of that was 40 minutes.
No.
You don't really know how long it is, which is good if you can go there into a timeless state. Yeah. Anyone else need to share? You're back. Hello, how are you? Kim, hi.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. No, it felt nice and deep in the meditation, but that I am, I struggle with that. It doesn't feel natural, the breathing, because it feels like I am, for me. As you breathe, sucking your ear in. I don't know how you get the I, like an I, the breathing I. It doesn't feel like you can breathe in an I.
You can't breathe in on I. Yeah.
Well, breathing is.
Try.
How
You can try another mantra. I am doesn't work. Well, you don't have to say it. You just say it in your. You're not supposed to be saying it.
But you are saying.
Are you trying to say it?
Saying it.
Well, I'm saying it. Yes, I'm saying it, but you don't have to say it. You just.
Then what do you do? Do it how we. Okay. How do we do it?
You just paste it on the I. The I is an inhale, and the am is the exhale, and you paste it according to the I am of my word.
It in your mind.
But you say it in your mind to yourself. So it's just like I.
Is that what you do?
You mean
This, the fast one.
The fast one.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Just say it to yourself. But that's fine. Not every technique's going to work for everyone.
Well,
That
that
one doesn't go
changes
for
things a
you.
lot, because I thought you were supposed to say it, because that's how it was.
No, you're not
code.
supposed to say it.
It would be impossible. Don't you do it rapidly like this?
Of course you're going to struggle. I think
But
you
then
missed
what
the
I say,
intro.
just go, okay, I am, and then you just go this.
Yeah. Well, that's the fast one.
You did
Which-
go straight away, think it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Kim only came in later.
Well, I missed it.
She missed the first bit.
Oh,
So
sorry.
anyway, sorry about that. We'd already got into it. Hmm?
Anyway, never mind. Yeah.
Well, if that technique doesn't work for you, then
No, well, I'll try it that way without saying it.
yeah, definitely. If you say it, you can't really speak it and breathe it at the same time. It's like that didgeridoo breathing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's tricky.
Yeah, I've never tried, but yeah. So yeah, you can use another mantra if you want.
No, it's
The,
fine, as long as I don't actually say it out loud.
No, you don't have to say it. No, you
What did
don't.
say, Patricia?
Just say it in your mind.
His very happiest place in the world,
Yeah.
on his mommy's lap.
On his
Just
mommy's
see
lap
him
while
now.
she's knitting.
Great.
So yeah, anyone else got anything to share?
No, it's all good.
All good?
When this bird first joined in, I actually jumped, I got a fuck.
Hmm.
Then I accepted it, but
Okay. Well, that's good. All about acceptance in the moment of whatever happens, and just staying rooted in the presence. The reason we do these meditations is it helps you to connect with that deeper presence and stay in it. So even when you come back into sense perceptions, enlightened state as well, everything's the same. That awareness underlies all of my perceptions. It's the same. Whether I'm looking at a person, apparent person, or a place or an object, it's the same awareness. And that's all we're trying to achieve. It's so simple. But of course, our minds have got themselves very attached to to the perceptual world.
Absolutely.
So something happens and then we react, and then the mind judges it.
Yeah.
Now we have a judgment of perception, which then the mind's moved. You're not in that state of pure formless awareness anymore. You've got a thought coming. And the thought says, oh, that shouldn't be how it is. So I wanted to talk a little bit about today's lesson, which is about grievances. The first one anyway, about grievances, and what actually is a grievance, because I think it goes a lot deeper than we realize. So any ideas on what a grievance is?
anything that doesn't bring you peace.
Yeah, it's a pretty good definition.
Yeah, I was going to go very similar to that, to anything that distracts you. Any distraction, any time.
So a grievance can be a grievance against the weather, a grievance against anything that you're going, I don't like this. It shouldn't be this way. It should be some other way than what it is. That's a grievance. It's also known as aversion in the Buddhist teaching, this idea of craving and aversion. And it's worth looking at the relationship between those, because craving, or desire, as we would call it, leads to expectation, which is a setup for a grievance. If I have an expectation of the way something should be, then if it's not that way, then I will have a grievance because it's not the way I expect it to be. And then there's that aversion reaction. It says, it shouldn't be this way, so now I feel a resistance. I feel not happy. And so what the Buddha noticed 2,500 years ago, just by observing human nature, was that this was the source of all suffering. If you had expectation, you would have aversion or grievances, and you would never be happy. You would have this continuous dissatisfaction, call it dukkha, a dissatisfaction with life, because nothing's as it should be. And that's a pattern. What he noticed was it's a pattern of the mind. It's a way of thinking. So it's not the world that's doing it to you. It's the way you interpret the world. It's the pattern of your thought and your emotion. And that can be changed. We don't have to stay in that pattern. We can rewire it. It takes effort and it takes time. But we can change it through these kind of mind training exercises. Say, okay, but my grievances hide the light or the true awareness of the world in me. Let me recognize that that's the case. Whenever I have a grievance, what happens? That awareness, that deeper awareness, pure form of awareness, which is happy, peaceful, calm, loving, feels good. You know, you had an experience of it. It feels like there's no obstacles, there's no resistance. It feels really good. Whenever I hold a grievance, I sabotage that awareness is no longer there. I have another awareness. I have a resistant awareness. I have an awareness that's not a happy awareness. And so this is all he's saying, you know, with this first review lesson. My grievances hide the light, or as we translate it, the true awareness of the world in me. Because that's what happens. You have a grievance and that awareness gets covered over. You're no longer aware of that. You're aware of the opposite. You're aware of now in resistance. I'm in, and so we have to be really vigilant of our minds to observe. Or when are we going into grievances? Anything where there's a resistance, where your peace is, you're not peaceful anymore. That's a grievance. And idle wishes. Jesus uses the term idle wishes rather than craving, but that's the expectation. As an idle wish, it should be that way. But it's not. Oh, now I have a grievance. He says idle wishes and grievances are partners or co-makers in making the world that you think you see. So that's how we've constructed the illusion of a dissatisfying reality. Reality is what it is. You see an apple, it's your interpretation that makes it into something that's going to cause you pain or joy. Really. Even if something is causing you a physical sensation, which you could call pain, it's only pain if you interpret it as such. That's really the point. So these mind training exercises are designed to help us to free ourselves from this. Really, he calls it I don't know if you remember. It was he mentioned that word and you picked up on it. The traffic in grievances.
Yeah.
Which is a kind of nice way of putting it. Idle wishes and grievances, and the ego traffics in these idle wishes and grievances.
Yeah.
A bit like, you know, we think of trafficking, drug trafficking, and you know, slave traffic and so on. This is not a good. It's not a good. You know, you say trafficking, it doesn't bring to mind something positive at all. So he uses it specifically because it's this really dark thought system that traffics in these grievances and has to have grievances in order to justify its existence. That's what's going on. So we set up a world, we have expectations and grievances, and then we have this continuous dissatisfaction, and then we blame it on the world. So, well, it's the world or someone or something in the world is doing it to me, but that's not the case.
It's like we're going.
Yeah, so that just keeps the resistance going, and that keeps you separate. Your awareness is now not that pure formless awareness. Your awareness is a separate awareness. You're not merged with oneness, with pure formless awareness. You have some other awareness going. And that other awareness is what he calls the ego, which is simply a belief in separation that's playing itself out in these various forms. And belief in separation requires grievances and idle wishes in order to perpetuate. Otherwise, there would be no belief anymore. So that's what we're working with. We're trying to drop the grievances and reconnect with the true awareness that's in us. So let's just have a quick look at today's lesson. Today's inspirational quote. Let's ask Iona, seeing as you. Oh, actually, it's Kim there. Kim, do you want to read that? Do you want to read that for us, please?
Okay.
Shall I just make it a bit bigger? Let's take it up to 125. So this is all about grievances, this particular quote.
Healing takes place when grievances are given ample and patient space to be acknowledged, when there is transparency and honesty, when everybody is given the chance to be heard, when nobody is excluded, when people can accept the energy of the conflict and use it as a major opportunity for growth.
Any thoughts on that?
Sorry, Gamma, can you read it again?
Yeah.
I
think it's like you're saying, it's.
Can you read it again? We just had a request from Patricia.
Oh, okay, sure. Healing takes place when grievances are given ample and patient space to be acknowledged, when there is transparency and honesty, when everyone is given the chance to be heard, when nobody is excluded, when people can accept the energy of the conflict and use it as a major opportunity for growth.
Yeah, that's a guy called Franco Santoro, who apparently is connected with Findhorn.
Oh.
Have you heard of him?
No.
On his website, he's connected to the Findhorn Foundation somehow. So I don't know if he actually lives there, but he said he's a part of, sort of connected to it. He's a resource person, whatever that means. For the Findhorn Foundation.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Connections all over the world. Mm-hmm.
Oh. So just like a connection, sort of resource person. Okay, so he doesn't actually live there. So maybe just read. I don't know if you want to read the first. This is worth reading. So you can read the first couple of paragraphs of that.
Today's inspirational quote by Franco Santoro, a healer and founder of astroshamanism, who has studied A Course in Miracles and is connected to the Findhorn Foundation in Scotland, gives you a powerful way to heal your grievances and the conflict in which they result by first acknowledging them. To deny the grievances exists before giving them ample and patient space to be acknowledged. As Franco Santoro puts it so eloquently in the quote, only sabotages the healing process, because denial before acknowledgement is called repression or suppression and only compounds the emotional toxicity of the grievance.
Okay, let's pause it there. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think one needs to acknowledge the struggle of a grievance. And I mean, it's a step in vulnerability as well as denial. It's trying to sweep it under the carpet. And I mean, you have to bring it to the fore to be able to, act on it and heal it or forgive it or let it go.
Yeah, to release it. So
yeah. The
problem is if it's repressed or suppressed, and you don't bring it into awareness, then it remains in your subconscious, still there.
Although for so many it's
just
like
not dealt with consciously.
It's hard to let it go. But yes, I mean, if you don't bring it to the fore and acknowledge it, I suppose it's like people with addictions as well. I think that's the first step in the 12-step process for Alcoholics Anonymous. Is that
Exactly.
acknowledgement?
Yeah,
To be able-
because if you don't acknowledge, look, I have a problem, then
Yeah.
how can you heal it? And you go, no, I
Yeah.
don't have a problem. So then it remains. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to change anything if I don't acknowledge I have a problem. So although the problem is not real, as part of the healing process, we have to see, okay, well, I think I have a problem, right? So that's the problem. I think, and David Hoffmeister even says, the problem is we all have a perceptual problem. We have a perceptual problem. We think that we're really here and this world is here, and we think this is really happening. We think our grievance is real. It's a fundamental perceptual problem. And it's to recognize that that's the problem. Okay, we're all effectively then addicts. We're addicted to the world.
I'm agreeing with her on the 12th step. That's probably how you should start the Course in Miracles.
Yeah,
Get together.
I have a
Hi, my name's
I have a perceptual problem.
No.
Because that's the truth of the matter. We all do.
I've got a problem.
I have a problem. And it's a fundamental problem. It's like I perceive everything wrong.
Oh.
Don't you
And-
my ex-did? He went along to the Alcoholics Anonymous,
Hmm?
and I couldn't wait for him to come back.
Hmm.
And I'll never forget, he met me, I was like, I'm not going back there. No, I just didn't acknowledge he had a drinking problem.
Well, that's so he couldn't heal.
Yeah.
So in the same way, if we don't say, look, I have a grievance problem, that's my problem. I have this problem with bloody grievances, and they keep coming, and I keep holding on to them, and I can't let them go. That's the start of it. Okay, yeah, all right. So now I can at least recognize what the problem really is. So it can be solved. That was a recent lesson. If I recognize the problem, then it can be solved.
Makes sense.
If I don't recognize there is a problem to start with, then I can't find the solution. Because I'm thinking the problem's someone else. So the problem's over there. The problem's that person. The problem's the world. The problem's the government. The problem's whatever. It's not my perception that's the problem. So it's most people don't realize, and it's to maintain that. Even if you train yourself, it's still very easy to slip into, okay, so now I'm holding the grievance. And whenever you feel that resistance and that disturbance to your peace, well, guess what? You're holding a grievance against someone or something, and that's all the ego is trying to get you to do, right? It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you have that feeling within you of now I'm in this kind of contracted, limited feeling, that keeps you away from the pure formless awareness, which is God. That is its greatest threat, because in that awareness it doesn't exist. So that's all. It's actually really, really simple. That's all that's really going on. But the practice of it is you have to be really vigilant for these grievances and bring them into awareness, and then say, okay, yeah, I have this grievance. All right, now I must let it go. So whatever the thought, the feeling, the emotion of it, I become aware of it. That's why in all the meditations and breath breaks that I do, it's like, okay, breathe in, become aware of it, observe it. What is it? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are the sensations in the body? Okay, you don't like it? Well, make another choice. Release, use the breath to help you, use the idea to help you. Really, you just have to let it go. It's as simple as that. Don't think.
As simple as that.
It is simple. What else can you say? You've got to let it go.
Absolutely. But you've got to let it go how many millions of times?
Well, and the more you do it, the
Yeah.
more it's like, okay, actually, there is a bit of a release. I breathe out, and okay, so I do feel a bit clearer and a bit lighter. And I might have to repeat that.
No, that's the key. Going moment by moment through life
Yeah.
and staying like.
So whenever you notice.
Wide awake.
Yeah. So he's saying to us, saying you have to be vigilant.
Yes.
Right? Because the ego is going to come in, it's going to test you. So vigilance is required in order to stay in that state of awareness. He's saying, okay, it's going to happen. You're going to be tempted to have grievances. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
But be aware of them as quickly as possible, and then go, okay, I can drop this. I can release it, and I can do it quickly. Now, if you train yourself with these kinds of practices,
Exactly. It's training.
it can happen in a few minutes. You can drop a grievance. Okay, I don't have to stay in that negative state for any longer. And that's really the genius of this the course, the workbook particularly, is he's giving us these daily ideas and practice periods, and he's saying, well, just practice this every hour. The reason he's saying that is because he's going, well, probably in that hour, if your ego is active, you're going to have some grievances.
Oh, what's going to come up now?
So use the idea and release them. And so it's correcting, as you go through your day and through your life, just correcting moment by moment.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to get us into the pattern of. So let's carry on with this. Iona, do you want to read the next paragraph, please? Well-known ACIM teacher.
Well-known ACIM teacher David Hoffmeister uses the term metaphysical ghosting for the inappropriate use of denial based on the metaphysical idea that everything that happens in this world is illusory, in order to gloss over and avoid fully acknowledging the negative feelings that grievances are made up of, and so keep them repressed or suppressed in the unconscious, subconscious mind and out of conscious awareness.
Okay, does that make sense to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
So, when somebody ghosts you on social media, this is not something I really know about, but it's, like somebody's watching you, but not commenting, but then will maybe pop up and, this is what happened to somebody. This is what happened to me. Somebody popped up and said, oh yeah, and I saw you were doing this, this, and this. I said, how do you know? Well, I was watching on Facebook. Ooh, I didn't like that idea. And that is ghosting. So the metaphysical ghosting idea that everything in this world is illusory, in order to avoid fully acknowledging that we are negative feelings.
We have a grievance.
Yeah, that we
So
grievance.
I'll give an example. I once had a situation with another course teacher, and she sent me this quite judgmental email, and then at the end she says, "Let the healing begin." I mean, just really and you're going, okay, you just kind of metaphysically ghosted over the whole, so and then I suggested we have some kind of a meeting or something to heal it. And the response of this other teacher who was involved said, oh no, it's all an illusion anyway, so why are we bothering?
Oh.
And you're kind of like, okay, but you see what I mean? You're not really getting to the root of the issue there. Like, oh, it's all an illusion anyway, so let's not bother. Oh, okay, well actually what we're really doing is keeping the grievance and the whole thing in place without actually going, okay, let's bring it into conscious awareness, into the light, as he calls it, bring it into the light and really look at it and say, okay, let's observe for those thoughts and emotions. And if you're in a conflict situation, okay, let's talk about it. Let's unpack this, because this is the way out of it, to release those negative feelings and emotions. If you just go, it's all an illusion, and I'm not actually going to acknowledge any of this, you're not doing anything really. It's just it's an illusion of healing, which is why he says it's metaphysical ghosting. So the ego is very cunning, right? You go, oh, it's all an illusion, but it'll try and use that to avoid really looking and actually healing.
Oh, because the ego brings it up anyway, so it knows it's there, then it tries to push it out of the way by saying, no, it's just an illusion, but then burying it.
It wants to keep it there.
To let it stew and build.
Yeah, so that it remains in your subconscious, so that it can repeatedly come up and influence your thoughts and your behavior.
You can't really do it for someone else, can you? Because I had a good friend.
No.
She's a Rosicrucian, and she had an almighty accident, and her car was a write-off. She was the doctor sedated her, didn't put her in hospital. In that time, we were good friends. She never contacted me. Only the people she'd seen last, who were head of this place I go to, the Ukulele Center.
Okay, so your point is, Hazel?
That I then left a message because she wasn't answering. Please let me know when I can, if you want me to take her shopping or anything. She phoned me on a Friday, and it's the one day I can't because the garden service came. She didn't accept that. She says, oh, well, okay, I'll get my Rosicrucian friends to take me. She still holds a grievance against me. And I thought, I would love to take her, so I'd say, stop being so silly. You know, that's the one day of the week I couldn't take you, but...
Yeah, but Hazel, all you can do is say, well, where do I hold grievances in my life? That's really the key. You can't change anyone else.
She has to sort that.
It's like, okay,
No,
what,
such a
you know,
shame.
can
I'm
I
such a
let
nice
this go?
person.
So don't hold a grievance against her for holding a grievance against you.
No, I didn't.
Because that's all grievances.
I did. Originally, I did, and I forgave her. Because
Yeah.
but I've seen her now and again to see her. One minute she's all over me, the next minute I'm mentioned Friday. Because now I've had to go to help with Granny Birds voluntarily. These parrots that
Let's just.
and I spoke to her.
Okay.
I've still got to wait for the people. Garden service to come.
Let's move on, shall we?
And she said, she actually walked away.
Okay, Hazel, can we move on? Yes, we need to. We've got quite a lot to get through. So, does that any comments or questions on that? On the metaphysical ghosting idea?
No, it's all right.
Okay. So, Kim, do you want to read the next one? The next
Needless to
paragraph?
say, this is not a healing approach at all and will not release your grievances and help you to experience unconditional love and the peace and joy that flow from it. It's just another sneaky way your ego or belief in separation can try to sabotage any real healing of your mind in the guise of being very spiritual and achieve its objective, albeit only temporarily. But this delay in your healing may last a long, long time if you keep following its guidance.
All right.
Yeah, so it's just trying to sabotage, any real healing by saying, well, it's all an illusion, so I don't really have to look at it. And then you keep the grievance. And then this quote is worth, I sent it out a while ago, but I thought it was worth sending out again. So you want to read the next paragraph?
The metaphysics of truly letting go or forgiving all your grievances are literally mind-blowing and do take some time to understand, because you cannot understand them with the ego mind that made up the illusion of time-space, as Einstein put it, to obscure this transcendent reality, a truth which he also stated wonderfully succinctly in this profound quote. The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them.
Just read that again.
The
significant
quote,
problem. Yeah.
the significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them.
What's it?
Einstein, yeah.
Einstein.
Which is not really that's a philosophical statement.
I think that goes connected.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. In the last
than a scientist.
well, in the last part of his life, I think that's what started to happen. His first, his initial 25 years, he was brilliant. I mean, he came up with theory of relativity, special theory, general theory, theory of photon. Quite extraordinary. And then I think he hit a point where he was like, okay, I'm trying to find this grand unified theory. That was his quest. Find the grand unified theory that would unify the universe. He was looking for unity, but he was looking in the wrong place. You're never going to find it in separation. How can you find unity in separation? So they're trying to find it in the construct of the universe and form, and of course they couldn't, and they never will, because it's separation. So of course you're not going to find a grand unified theory in a system based on a belief in separation. It's going to be fragmented. You'll see elements of it, but you're not going to get the whole picture. The only way you're going to get to it is if you follow the scientific track all the way to its end beginning point, which is the Big Bang. So that's where they've kind of arrived, and they've gone. And I actually heard this in a talk by a quantum physicist, and he goes, "Well, at time zero, we really don't know what happened and what's happening there." He doesn't pause for more than a second, and he carries on. It's like, whoa, just pause there. Okay, so you've got a whole talk about quantum physics and the whole, no, but we want to get better in our explanation of like how quantum physics works, and we want to create a better equation to explain the blah, 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 blah. On he goes. But one sentence there, he's just hit the truth in one sentence. But as Churchill said, men stumble over the truth occasionally, but most pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing ever happened. So that's exactly what even scientists do. And this is an intelligent man, but what happens is he says it's a system of thought he's got into. It's like, no, we're going to find a better explanation for the construct, for the matrix. We're actually going to go outside of the matrix. That's the only freedom.
But that's what fascinates me about quantum physics. They keep wanting to prove that it's real, but it's all an illusion.
Yes.
So how can you prove something's real when it's all illusion, when they can tell you that jug doesn't exist? It's only in your mind. So if you can't prove that the jug exists, how can you prove anything?
Exactly.
Well, then
that really surprises me with these very clever people that are so sure that they have to prove the existence of this world and the universe and everything else. But I'm going, it's all in our minds. So if it's all in our minds, then we can't prove any of it because we're making it up as we go along. And in fact, I was having this discussion with my 10 and 11-year-old over the last few days. And they're so interested in what the course is about. Like, but Granny, if this isn't real, it feels real. I said, exactly. Can you imagine how powerful your mind is? And they go away and they'll come back. Another art question, another thing. So it's fantastic to see kids really thinking about what they've been taught at school, what is real, what isn't real. And they say, but then who made the heavens and the earth? I said, we did. They go, no, but God made us. I know that's
what they tell you that at school.
I know that's what you've been taught at school.
But it's not true.
You're going to have a wake-up call, and one day you're going to find out we're making it up as we go along. It's the best theory I've ever heard of this relativity is when you're not in your home, it doesn't actually exist. When you're not where you think that you can't see physically in front of you, it doesn't actually exist.
Well, the fundamental.
That's the truth going in the forest.
The Copenhagen interpretation, it's called, of quantum mechanics.
Yes.
Is that there is no reality in the absence of observation. So in other words, the perceiver and what is being perceived are not separate. The perceived thing only comes into existence because of the perceiver. That's really what quantum mechanics is saying. Which is even the scientists who study it, they can't wrap their heads around it. There's a quantum physicist there, and he says, and all you have to do is recognize this fact that this does not exist independent of you. He said, but it is so radical to think that way. It is so radical that it's a complete shifting of your existing worldview and perception. It's a total turnaround. So quantum mechanics is actually pointing, it's another way into the truth.
Exactly.
But the problem is they're still stuck in the scientific model, which is trying to explain then, let's use the model to explain the universe better. Let's use the model to get out of the universe. That's the whole point. If it took us to the point of realization of, actually it is all an illusion, it is not real, therefore there's another reality. At time zero, what's there then? At time zero, maybe you should consider, just pause there for a moment in your talk and go, well, maybe there's something there. If we don't know that, there's this great unknown. Maybe we should contemplate that and just leave our equations and models aside for a bit and go into that. But of course, then I wouldn't be a scientist anymore. Then I would be a mystic. So there's an identification. You can see the guy's very smart, but he's identified with his, I'm a scientist, I'm a quantum physicist. And so what do quantum physicists do? Well, quantum physicists are going to make better quantum physical models. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to, we've got a model, but it's not quite good enough. So we're going to try and improve it. And on and on and on we go. And of course that's, yes, and it's going nowhere. You're spinning around in the dream, trying to explain the dream when you're going, actually the explanation is outside of the dream. If you can get to the point of going, okay, there's a time zero where all of our models fall apart. Now that's the opening, isn't it? That's the opening into, oh my goodness, there's another reality there. Okay, so what the mystics do is they just go into that and go, okay, so let's go and experience that. Wow. Go into the meditation and just experience that pure formless awareness, that transcendent reality. And then you go, well, it has to be real. I can experience it firsthand. I don't need models and equations, and I'm just in that experience. But you have to let go of the mind that's brought you there. So the quantum physics can be useful to a point. Yeah. To go, okay, this can be part of your awakening, but then at a point you go, okay, well, drop that. It's just another model. And in fact, it makes no sense. The quantum physicists are like, we don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. They're finding all kinds of results that really just don't stack up, that don't make sense. In fact, I think it was Heisenberg or Schrödinger, I don't know, one of them. He was one of the kind of founders. At the end of his life, they interviewed him and they said, what do you think of this? He said, I don't like it, and I wish I'd never had anything to do with it. And this was his life's work. It's a bit like Helen Schuckman.
Oh, brilliant. Oh.
Not believing in your own life's work. So Einstein's quote says it beautifully. We can't solve the problems of separation at the same level of thinking, separation, that we were at when we created it. We have to transcend it, which means going into another awareness. That's what the implication of the quote is. So I think Einstein understood a lot of this. Whether he actually practiced it and fully got it, I don't know. No. Possibly not. But a lot of people said, well, what happened in his final 25 years? He didn't really do very much. I think he was just thinking. He's maybe I'm trying to figure this out.
Maybe he went into a bit of peace there. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. He was trying to figure it out, and he couldn't within his construct. He actually would have had to just meditate. The only way you're ever going to get it, no model's going to get you there, is go into a practice like meditation and experience it. Okay, so the beauty of the course, maybe let's speed it up a bit. So, Kim, if you want to read the next paragraph.
Because this is true, Jesus, or Yeshua, as I'll call him going forward, because that was his real name, or using it points us directly to the truth he taught rather than the distorted version of it that is traditional Christianity, has given us a very in-depth mind training course to help us raise the level of our thinking to a high level that is above the battleground of time-space, as he puts it in the course. So we can start to perceive everything in this world differently and experience unconditional love, deep peace, and genuine joy, because he knows that full understanding of the truth will dawn on our minds when we have this universal experience of what true reality feels like.
Okay, does that make sense?
Mm.
So the beauty of this amazing course is that it's actually a very practical way of doing this, of how do you raise your level of thinking? It's all very well saying. Well, how do you actually do that? Well, it's going to take some mind training. Yeah, it's going to take some mind training. And that's exactly what he's giving us. A mind training book, every time you do a lesson, it's about raising your level above the level of the problem and seeing it from what he calls above the battleground. So that you go into this universal experience, and the more you experience it, the more you go, oh, okay, I'm starting to understand that. It makes sense. It's not just concepts and ideas. It's leading me to an actual experience.
Yes.
that is much happier, much more peaceful than my previous experience. So yeah, I prefer this one. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have this, and so that's how we learn. You know, as we go, we get the benefits, and the benefits motivate us to learn more. But the beauty of it is he meets us at the level of understanding you're at when we start the course. So, which is the state of not fully understanding, kind of by definition. Otherwise, you wouldn't need the course. You would be enlightened already.
Well, like a state of a
It
zero.
would be like, okay, well, I already get it, so I don't need it. So he says, remember only this: you need not believe the ideas, you need not accept them. This is an introduction to the workbook. You need not accept them. You need not even welcome them. Some of them you may actively resist. Does that sound familiar?
Yep.
None of this will matter or decrease their efficacy, but do not allow yourself to make exceptions in applying the ideas the workbook contains. Whatever your reactions to the ideas may be, use them. Nothing more than that is required.
Wow.
So he's just saying, look, it's a paint by numbers exercise here. Just do the exercises, apply yourself, do it. When I say you do it, and you will get the benefits. It's inevitable. If you're repeating the exercises and you're doing it, you're gonna get some shift happening. So it's an easy way to study and get maximum benefit from it. If you simply practice the workbook lessons and you actually do it the way he suggests you do it, especially if you're doing it every hour, and I don't know anyone who does, but if you actually followed his instructions, you would seriously shift your mind, because that's what he's designed the course to do.
The shift's happening anyway. If you're doing it like once a day, or
even if you do it once
times,
or twice, or however often you can do it,
happening,
of course, it's still happening.
Yeah.
But if you actually, the more you do it, the more you apply it. If you could just go, okay, every hour, I will stop. I'll do a minute or two, which technically is feasible. I mean, like, are you so busy that we could all do it? But it's to remember. We forget. So he's saying just practice the course as I've said, as I suggest you do. Follow the instructions, and it's a done deal. Love, peace, and joy will come your way. So it's the same, and then the same universal experience as he had, and all the mystics and the masters and the avatars, and will be yours. It's like they were nothing special. They were just humans struggling with their own egos who managed through a lot of application, perseverance, practice to overcome it. So there's nothing particularly special about it. It's a bit like, take, you're an Olympic archer. How did you get there? You weren't particularly special.
No.
You just practiced a lot. You went, okay, I have an interest in this. This resonates with me. I'm going to spend a lot of time practicing, and then I get good at it. And that's like, why should spiritual practice? It's not any different.
It's not any different.
We've all got the capacity. Some people, have a little bit easier time because they have less karma, they have less, of a heavy ego. But we've all got an ego. We've all got the capacity to do it. It's just, will you practice?
It takes a lot more practice. Because we've got, I think, to train physical muscles is an easier exercise than training a brain that's had programming.
This is the ultimate.
From a baby.
Yeah. No, programming from not just baby life. How many lifetimes?
Exactly.
Of a false belief system that you've played out over and over and over again in many different ways, many different lifetimes.
You say it's possible. Nothing special.
And that's really what he's saying. Look, I'll give you this is how I did it. This is my thought system. And I'm going to give you here it is. This is what I did. This is how I thought. I'm going to give you a training process to actually train your mind to do this over a year. And you can keep repeating that, to help you do this. We're very fortunate, much more fortunate than, say, even his disciples. His inner circle was 2,000 years ago, because they didn't have this book. There was no manual. He didn't write anything down, as far as we're aware. So it's like, okay, we've only got his verbal teachings. I think they struggled to understand it. They didn't really get it. And there was no practice. It was like, okay, well, it's taken him 2,000 years. So like, okay, here's my book. That's a book a long time in the making. Although I suppose there's no time at that level. So just as there's no language. I remember Sue saying to me, so how did Jesus learn English? I said, I can't answer the question, Sue. I think he just downloaded it. It's like the Matrix. Okay, there we go. I've got like high English downloaded, and off we go,
Wow.
because it's not operating on a human level anymore. But he was, and it goes to the point of what I said there. He wasn't English. Often people think Jesus, okay, he spoke English. No, he didn't speak English. English didn't exist at that point. He spoke Hebrew, and he spoke Aramaic actually. He spoke Aramaic. That was the language. So I think it's useful to use his name Yeshua, because that was his name.
Yeah.
He wasn't Jesus. That was a later, changing of his name. He was Yeshua. He was a Middle Eastern mystic who spoke Aramaic, who just kind of got it. He just woke up and taught it to his disciples and via them to the world. And it's got very lost in translation. But 2,000 years later, here we are, discussing his life and his work, which is amazing. Think like, wow, what is significant to have lived 2,000 years ago and be having a present impact on all of us and all of our lives. That's an extraordinary life, really.
Just like that, as far as the Buddha, was there anything written?
No, it was all verbal teachings.
Buddhism?
And then people wrote it, his disciples wrote it down. So that's always what happened. The masters didn't write until now. We actually have, this is his book.
No.
Amazing. You actually have a like probably the most enlightened spiritual master ever, and he's given us his book, and not just a theory, it's like a practical mind training course. So he says here, there's nothing about me that you cannot attain. I have nothing that does not come from God. The main difference between us as yet is that I have nothing else. This leaves me in a state of true holiness, which is only a potential in you. So he's saying, look, you can do this. You can do this too. It's just you need training. And he says here, maybe Iona can read that. Iona is still with us. However, understanding is not necessary at this point.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to read that little paragraph? However, understanding is not necessary.
However, understanding is not necessary at this point. In fact, the recognition that you do not understand is a prerequisite for undoing your false ideas. These exercises are concerned with practice, not with understanding. You do not need to practice what you already understand. It would be indeed secular to aim at understanding and assume that you already have it, and assume that you have it already.
Yeah. Which is quite comforting. Saying, okay, well, look, you're not going to understand fully, which is why you need to practice.
Yeah.
And as you practice, you'll understand more and more. So he's meeting us where we are. He's not expecting us to be spiritual masters, because spiritual masters don't need to study this stuff. They know it already.
No, he recognizes that we have false ideas.
Yeah, he recognizes we all have a perceptual problem. It's like, okay, well, this is a course for people with a perceptual problem, not for people who've healed that problem yet. Once you've healed it, well, the course would make sense to you, but you wouldn't really need it, because it's like, well, it's only needed because you still have the perceptual problem.
Yeah.
So as he says, practice makes perfect, and if you keep practicing, you will come to a full understanding. He was nothing special. His understanding came through a lot of practice, a lot of work, many hours meditation. He went for 40 days into the desert. He may have gone to the east and spent years, studying with the Tibetan monks and so on. We don't know, but there was a lot of practice that went into that, realization that he had. So, why should we think that it would be any easier for us? It's a lot of practice that's required, and just daily saying, well, just make this part of your day, because how else are you going to do this? It's not like, oh, I'm going to go on a week-long retreat and then I'll be enlightened. We know that doesn't work. It can create an opening, it can be a shift, but it's like, okay, well, after that, you've got to continue, and it's an ongoing practice. So that leads us nicely into the lesson, which I'm going to bring it over here. So yeah, Iona, will you read the two ideas, and then we'll I've done the translation already, so we'll speed it up a bit.
My grievance hides the light, true awareness of the world in me, and my salvation, awakening, comes from me.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So
Sorry, I'm not a heated person. It's cold in there.
so there's let's have a look at the first one. So this is, if you want to follow in your books, it's lesson 85. It's a review lesson. We'll just have a little read of this. They're very short and sweet paragraphs. So do you want to read the first one? My grievances hide the light of the world in me, please.
My grievances hide the light of the world in me. My grievances show me what is not there, and hide from me what I would see. Recognizing this, what do I want my grievances for? They keep me in darkness and hide the light. Grievances and light cannot go together, but light and vision must be joined for me to see. To see, I must lay grievances aside. I want to see, and this will be the means by which I will succeed. Alternative.
Okay. Yeah, and then read the alternative. So this won't be in your book, but just
Okay. My grievances show me what is not there.
follow along, and you see how we've changed the
The sound keeps dipping in and out a bit, so if I go silent, that's why.
yeah.
And
Just do the key idea. My grievances hide the.
My grievances hide the true awareness of the world in me.
So that's the translation for light. It's true awareness. Just to make it the idea of the translations is to make it very direct. So light is symbolic. A lot of people think, oh, what does it mean a light I'm seeing? Now, what is this light? It's just a symbol. It's a pointer to awareness, to this true awareness. So then why not just use the word awareness? So we use a lot of awareness. But in the end, that's what it comes down to. It's pointing all to your awareness of this greater awareness. And that your awareness, little awareness, is actually one with the greater awareness. That's the whole point. So the words, we're just trying to use more direct pointers into that to help us get into that state of mind. Okay, sorry, Anna, you want to continue?
My grievances show me what is not there and hide from me what I would perceive. Recognizing this, what do I want my grievances for? They keep me in limited awareness and hide my true awareness. Grievances and true awareness cannot go together, but true awareness and vision must be joined for me to perceive truly. To perceive truly, I must lay grievances aside. I want to perceive truly, and this will be the means by which I will succeed.
Okay, so it's the seeing is translated into perceiving or perceiving truly, because we're not really talking about seeing with the body's eyes. It's not that. It's perception. And then darkness is limited awareness. So light is true awareness, darkness is limited awareness. If you think about it, whenever you're in darkness, you have a very limited awareness. Well, like let's say you're in a grievance, your awareness is focused on the grievance. It's a very limited awareness. It's bound to time and space in that particular situation. It makes it real, and that of course stimulates all kinds of unpleasant emotions. Very limiting and limited state of mind. So that's darkness or limited awareness. So do you find the translations helpful? Let's actually, if you read that with awareness instead of light.
Yes, for me, luckily, I get the whole light idea just from my history. So I'm okay with this direct translation.
Yeah.
But I do see the benefit in changing it up.
Yeah.
Just like Carol does. Not God, because God has other connotations.
Yes. Carol Howard.
Love,
Yeah.
Well,
that's the idea. So we're going to do what we're kind of working on as a co-creation with this. The work we're doing is to translate the text and the workbook. into an alternative language. And then as we go, I'm going to be producing these documents. So by the end of a year, we'll have an alternative version of the course, which then you can read the original. So we're not saying don't read the original, and then read the alternative version of each paragraph.
That's cool.
To get a deeper understanding. And that's the whole point, is to, it also makes you pause at each paragraph and say, okay, so let me read that again and really understand through the translation, understand the deeper meaning of some of these things. So that's what's unfolding as we go. And we'll have an alternative, there's many versions of the course, but as far as I know, no one has done this, translated it into a non-Christian and more understandable, sort of more Eastern, like awareness, using those kinds of terms instead of the terms that have been used in the original. Yeah. Okay, so just the second part of that. Let's ask Kim to read that, or someone else. Actually, let's ask. Will you read it? As soon as you got a book, you can read this.
We're all from the Mass Salvation. No?
So 69 specific applications for this idea might be made in these forms.
Yeah. Specific applications for this idea might be made in these forms. Let me not use this as a block to sight. The light of the world will shine all this away. I have no need for this. I want to see.
Okay.
Or I want to perceive clearly.
Yeah. So if you want to translate, the second one, number 3.
So
how would you translate
true
that?
Perception of the world will shine away all this limited perception.
Yeah. The true awareness.
True awareness.
True awareness of the world will shine all this away. You don't have I send you this on email, so you've got access to it every day. If you want to read the alternative. So it's on a document. You can read the original, and then underneath it you can read the alternative.
Right.
And print it out if you want. And I have no need for this. I want to perceive truly.
Yeah.
So again, statement of determination. It's saying, look, I want to see this differently.
Yeah, man.
I want to perceive this differently. I'm willing, and just by setting that intention, it starts to happen.
And I don't want them. Sorry.
Okay. Let's move on to. So, any comments on that? First one, grievances. It's a major lesson. This. It's a very simple lesson, but it's a major one. To not hold grievances is a major. You could almost say it's the barometer of spiritual growth. If you're not holding grievances, then you're pretty enlightened. If you're still holding grievances, then you still have work to do. And they trick you. They keep coming up.
And so don't they keep coming up when
Well,
you are enlightened? I'm sure they
Have you
keep
driven in traffic lately?
You're in this light, in this world, it's going to happen.
Well, at someone at Jesus' level, I don't think he held grievances.
Oh, no, that level.
This wasn't. It wasn't in his thought system anymore. Even when they're crucifying him, I'm not going to hold a grievance. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. That's a statement of I'm not holding a grievance against you. Say that, and you're like nailed. No, I mean it's like extreme, an extreme situation. But that was the teaching. That's why his crucifixion was such a powerful teaching device. Because in this extreme situation, like this is the kind of the worst thing that can possibly happen to you, you can still forgive and you can still be grievance free, even when you're nailed to the cross, kind of gasping for breath. These people have done this to you. And that's come down through the ages as a master teaching in forgiveness. Which says, okay, well, what's your excuse then? If Jesus can do it nailed to the cross, then I think probably a taxi driver cutting you off, or a client firing you, or the government being completely incompetent and giving you more power, whatever it is. I think you can probably manage to forgive you know, if Jesus could do it in such an extreme situation.
Right.
So that's the value of the crucifixion.
No,
It can actually be, like, if he could do it there, well, what's my excuse? Like, really, I can let this grievance go.
Yeah.
There's no excuse to hold on to it.
Curious.
So that's that was his master teaching for us. And he does these last few lessons. It's grievances. He's saying, okay, let's have another lesson on grievances. You're still holding grievances. So we'll do it again, because he knows the first time around is probably not.
Well,
Look at Tina's spawning.
yes.
Because I like it.
Yeah, I listen to it a
When
lot.
Jesus comes through, it's lovely.
Yeah, I listen to it a lot. Her Carol and the Healing Light. It's the Pathways of Light.
Oh yes, yeah.
I usually listen to all three of them every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. You've got your.
So I don't have time for your thing. That's my half an hour in the car taken.
That's right.
So it's time.
Well, as long as you're doing
I'll
something.
change it up.
As long as you're doing something, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
That you getting access to these things.
That's it.
Okay. So, any questions on the first one? It's a pretty major lesson, actually.
That is.
So, ongoing practice, and then the second one, kind of a corollary, was if we're holding grievances and grievances on our own mind, then salvation must be also in our own mind. So, Patricia, will you read read that paragraph for us, please?
My salvation comes from me. Today I will recognize where my salvation is. It is in me because its source is there. It has not left its source, and so it cannot have left my mind. I will not look for it outside myself. It is not found outside of myself and then brought in. But from me, within me, it will reach beyond, and everything I see will but reflect the light that shines in me and in itself. These
Okay.
forms,
Yeah, so let's just pause it there. Screen, the translation of salvation, we decided to translate that into awakening. And the light is true awareness. So do you want to read it again with those
My
translations?
awakening comes from me. Today I will recognize where my awakening is. It is in me because its source is there. It has not left its source, and so it cannot have left my mind. I will not look for it outside of myself. It is not found outside and then brought in, but from me, from within me, it will reach beyond, and everything I see will
Perceive.
everything I see will but reflect the light the light is
True awareness.
true awareness that shines in me and in itself.
And see is perceive. So
So you see,
everything I perceive will but reflect the
everything
true
I
awareness.
perceive will but reflect true awareness that shines in me and in itself.
Because we perceive from our true awareness. So it just points you more directly into the awareness that's actually perceiving. It's all in your mind. It's nothing to do with physical sight.
Yes.
So that's
You
the
said
idea.
we're perceiving from our true awareness.
Or from our limited awareness. Those are the choices.
Yeah.
What's perceiving. So this is why quantum physics is pointing you to the truth. Well, who's perceiving?
Oh.
Well, the perceiver and what the perceiver is supposedly perceiving are not separate. This is what they found.
And also the outcomes of the same experiment are different.
Depending on the
who's
perception.
perceiving and what the expectations are
Yeah.
of the experiment.
So there's no independent objective reality. That's what quantum mechanics proves.
Okay, and those big words, yeah.
There's no independent objective, because Newtonian physics, which is still most scientists believe in, bizarrely, even though quantum physics is 100 years old, there's some independent objective reality out there. That was Newton's kind of theory. But even Newton, at the end of his life, said, well, it seems to me like I've been like a little boy just playing around fiddling around with pebbles and shells on the shore when the great ocean of truth lay undiscovered, all undiscovered before me. This was Newton's comment on his own life's work. He's kind of going, because he had this whole, Newton was an alchemist. Most people don't know that, and they don't teach you that in science. He had alchemy and he had, what he was doing with physics and stuff. I didn't think he got the whole picture by any means.
No.
He described the classical, like, okay, and it's a useful starting point. But then it took 400 years for quantum mechanics, 300 years for quantum mechanics to come over and go, okay, well, hang on, maybe this is all wrong. Actually, Newton was just basing it on what we can observe with the senses. So it seems to be that way. That's the illusion, of course. But quantum mechanics goes deeper. It says, no, actually, underneath this, what's really going on at the fundamental particle level? Well, there are no particles, actually. When you look, it's a particle. When you don't look, it's a wave. So what's really going on
It doesn't
here?
take another 300.
Well,
Or they realize that quantum's also not the bottom line.
well,
I think it's speeding up.
I think it's going to take a long time because where do you go from there? You go to truth. You go to ultimate enlightenment and ultimate reality. And if you're not ready for it, you're not ready to wake up. You can be a very bright scientist, intellectually brilliant, but you're not ready to awaken to the transcendent, pure formless awareness of truth. That is what you really are. And okay, well, I'm not really a scientist. That was an illusion. I'm not really a quantum. I'm not really a quantum physicist, actually. And this is the problem. Scientists have egos too. So they're very identified with the, I'm now the scientist and I define myself by that.
Actually, no, nothing.
Yeah, to say, look, actually, I've realized, Newton, that's true humility. Like, actually, I don't really know much at all. So he was quite maybe through all of it. I think when Einstein got to the same point, it's like, actually, I know, I don't know anymore. Thought I knew, but I've done a whole career of scientific observation, and I don't know. I don't know the answers anymore. Because that's when you really okay, now I'm ready to accept the truth because I'm humble and I go I don't really get it. So all my models fall apart, and then you're open to the transcendent truth. Okay, so any comments on that one? It's pretty straightforward. I will not look outside. Really what he's saying. You want to summarize that one, Patricia?
I think the thing that touches me the most is, besides that it says that I will recognize where my salvation is that it is within me. And we have this constant searching outside of ourselves for when it's right, everything is within us. If we just get quiet and get to know ourselves and look for the truth inside of us. And because the truth is always what it is. It can't be changed. And it
can only be in you. If your grievances on your mind, then the good news is salvation's also in your mind. It's just a change of your perception that's required, change in your awareness. And that's all he's saying. So it's a very, as he says, this is a very simple course. It's so radical because it undoes the way that you've been conditioned to think and believe completely. So that's the challenge, and it's going up against your lifetime of programming and conditioning, and that's going to take some doing.
So Jordan, I've got a quote here from something that I really enjoyed, and I think it's to do with this. I'll read it up. It said, maybe the journey isn't so much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you, so you can be who you were meant to be in the first place. Nice and simple.
Who said that?
Story.
That's a good one.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Okay, anonymous. Why don't you send it to me?
Butterfly, sands, pebbles.
Yeah, you send it to me.
That's great.
Just put it on the group.
Yeah, I'll put it on the group.
Yeah. It's about unbecoming or undoing.
And doing the
So this is not like becoming something more, which is the ego's way. Oh, I'm a deficient self. Let me become more. So this is a fundamental difference between, say, personal growth. Assuming, okay, you're not quite good enough as you are, but come to my seminar, my workshop, whatever, and I'll show you. I'll show you how to make money, or I'll show you how to get the man or woman of your dreams, or have the body you want, etc., etc. And then once you've got that, the assumption is then you're going to be okay. Then you'll be happy. And of course, it's not true. It's the hedonic treadmill. It's like, oh, more. I want more. And 2,500 years ago, the Buddha noted, well, this isn't going to work. In fact, this is the source of all suffering, because you continue wanting more from a place of I'm not in a great dissatisfaction, even if you've achieved a lot. So a lot of these celebrities are miserable because it's a hedonic treadmill. It's never enough, and they're coming from the point of I'm not enough, and so I've got to try and achieve something or get something that's going to make me enough. But the more you do that, the more you're saying I'm not enough. So it's self-perpetuating. It's a self-perpetuating cycle of misery. And the only way out of it is to say, well, maybe I am enough. Like right now, I am enough. It's so simple, and yet that simple realization is what so many people just never get. I am enough as I am right now.
But then they slip back to where they were, not realizing that they must continue.
Marissa Pearce's main teachings, I'm enough.
I'm enough, which is that's a statement of spiritual truth. I am. I am that I am. I am that presence. I'm enough as I am right now. I don't need anything in the future to validate me, to make me enough. If I can just accept that right now, and I then speak and act from that place, that's a place of abundance. That's not a place where you the scarce separate self's trying to compensate for its apparently deficient self by acquiring things. And no, I am enough as I am. And she said it works a charm. Well, her clients are like, amazing. And then these therapists say, well, what are you doing? She's going, well, stop with all your nonsense. Just do what I do. Tell them they're enough. Get them to do affirmations every day. Oh, that's it. It's as simple as that.
Oh, that's great.
Which is really what the course is. He's saying, look, you are enough right now as you are. That's the whole message. You are as God created you. Right now, you are the source as you are right now. Your only problem is you don't accept it. That's the only problem. If you could fully accept it, then your perceptual problem's over. Because there would be no separate self perceiving a separate world then. It's like, I am enough.
Said and done.
Oh yeah.
I've spent a lot of money on a course of this.
Who, Marissa Peer? I am enough. An affirmation is one thing, and that, there's no doubt that can be effective if you really say it and believe it. But actually, what's needed is you need to really unprogram the whole thought system.
That's what it's all about.
I've listened to 3 of her books now. It's not just about that I'm enough. She also does hypnosis and goes into their childhood and finds the trauma that has triggered off whatever drama is happening.
Whatever thoughts of not enough.
So of all the thoughts that I'm not enough. And then has basically said, okay, complete the statements. And then a way of looking back at that and seeing how it served them. And then releasing it. And then creating a new enough person. That you're enough as you are, and you don't need that drama to carry on running your life.
Well, this woman that's supposed to follow her, that I went to, she didn't go into my childhood.
And so it's very interesting when you listen to it. And I listened to the book. I cried every single time, every chapter. In fact, I had to stop after a few days because even though the story she was telling about that had nothing to do with me, not anything to do with me, but the belief system is so ingrained from similar childhood drama. That was interesting. And that really fascinated me because I felt all that pain, even though it wasn't my story. The story had nothing to do with me. And so I had the opportunity of doing the forgiveness, recognizing that, yes, and that, what she calls your inner child, and everybody uses a different system, your subconscious, whatever, is there to protect you. So it will protect you regardless, as long as you have a certain belief. It's undoing that belief and then recognizing that you're enough for your inner child to let that belief go. So it's very fascinating. But in all of that I listen to, it still doesn't come that you can't be separate from your source, and that all of this is an illusion. She's healing you as in this lifetime, in this illusion, but there's still that little bit missing, as far as I can see, about, she always deals with forgiveness. It's about forgiving the perpetrator, forgiving the people who've done this to you. She's very into that. It's recognizing that you're not, recognizing how that served you, because it is serving you. Whether you like it or not, it's serving you.
Correct.
And then forgiving yourself for allowing it to have lasted this long, and then letting it go, and then recognizing that you're enough. And the healing that has happened in all these people's lives, because I'm now nearly finished the book, is so amazing. And then she got another book called I Am Enough, and it's all about exercises, practicing. Again, we always come down to an exercise, practicing it regularly, regular meditation, regular forgiveness, is about practice. And it's that constant practice that's changing those people's lives. It's sometimes taken 2 or 3 years, because she gives examples, but 3 years or 4 years or 5 years down the line, how their lives have changed just from practicing. And so it comes down to every course. It's about practicing what you've been teaching or what you've been learning about.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that.
That's cool.
I think, in the end, radical forgiveness is where it's leading us. It's to recognize it never really happened. And then you just go, oh God, seriously. Like, if I really get that, then it's just a joke. You go, like, it never really happened. So I mean, like, having a grievance about what didn't really happen, and if the penny really drops on that, you're just like, you've got to laugh. That's just ridiculous.
So I'd like to share something about that.
Yeah.
The other day I watched the movie Red Joan. I don't know if any of you have Red Joan.
Red Joan, okay.
If you get to see it, it's on DSTV and on Netflix. Please. Do yourself a favor. It's a true story. The papers for how to make an atomic bomb. She doesn't get caught till she's much later. In fact, when somebody dies, he kept a file on her, and that's how they found her. But she didn't believe she'd done anything wrong. She said the reason she did it was she didn't think that the West should have all the power, because that would be just too dangerous for the whole world. She was a scientist, a young scientist woman, and she worked in trying to make an atomic bomb, and she then leaks these papers to the Russians.
So they can build nuclear weapons too. Great.
No. But she said,
The more the merrier.
No. You have to watch the movie.
Yeah.
She said, but since they had the bomb, nobody ever dropped another bomb because they realized it was too destructive. Because America would have kept dropping bombs when they were in power, when they were in war. But when they found out that Russia didn't drop that had the bomb, they were in a different position now. Because if they used them, Russia would use them. And she was thinking long term.
Brilliant.
And it took great courage, and she did it because she felt, and she says, if you look back at my life, they've never used those bombs. And it goes to another story we dropped somewhere. And the guy had to put the key in, refused. He said, this will destroy the earth and will destroy us as people. So I think when you watch her story, you're actually 100% on her side. And you realize it takes great courage to go against your government, to go against everything, because you're thinking not just short term. You're thinking, what is
thinking about peace for the world?
Peace for the world, because the only way there would be peace is if both sides had the bomb. And you have to watch it. It's just the most incredible story. And
interesting.
Judi Dench is the lady who acts the play, and she's just amazing. And how she tells the story. Please watch it. You cannot, and it's a true story. That's what's so interesting. She's never ever telling the truth. And when she gave it to Russia, Russia was still an ally of England because it's just before the war.
So that's what got it off.
She hadn't actually broken the law. She just leaked the papers to them. And it's a very interesting. But can we see how we get so back to this forgiveness? Is that she had just like this foresight that in a way God had used her to say, you need to do this.
She had a calling,
She had a calling and she honored it.
Good, man.
So that the world could never be bombed with another atomic bomb, because she watches.
Touch wood.
Touch wood. But it's
that's a lot of wood. If I was in the Ukraine, I'd be like.
Oh, look at Russia now. I mean, they're not going nuclear.
But do you see what I'm saying? Sometimes, and then how her son has to forgive her, because he first thinks she's a traitor. And then he realizes actually she did something.
Well, I think that's the thing. The consequences are so horrendous.
Yes.
So that North Korean maniac, although he's a maniac, he's not going to do it, because if he uses it, he's going to get the shit bombed out of him.
Exactly.
So you can't do it. It's like you're committing suicide.
That's what she did.
All the time.
Yeah.
She said, if I didn't do this, the West would have had a power greater than what they were due to have.
Well, what they would have been able to utilize responsibly.
Yes, because now it was easy just.
Gone.
And when she watches those bombs being dropped, it absolutely kills her. It's just the.
With the Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yes. And so that's why she partly does it. But the forgiveness, there's so much forgiveness in this movie.
What's it called?
Red Joan. Red Joan.
Red Joan.
But her name isn't Joan. I think they changed it in the thing. Her real name was Natasha.
Okay.
But it's very interesting. Please watch it. It's such a beautiful movie on forgiveness, on about being driven to do something that you know is for the good of the whole world. It's just.
What's it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix, it's on DSTV, on the catch-up movies. Really watch it. It's absolutely beautiful.
I'll tell a story like Gary Renard. I don't know if you read his book. Well, there's no verification this is true, but it's a good story, so I'll share it anyway. So apparently Arton and Perso, these are semi-masters, said in the kind of Cold War, 70s, 80s.
Yeah, I think it's in there where they tell the story.
It wasn't about Red Joan, but it was there was a Russian colonel. Apparently, it was early days of kind of technology. So they had this technology, but it was a bit faulty. It would identify these missiles. But somehow the technology went wrong and saw missiles when they weren't missiles. It was like some weather anomaly or something. So they're going, America's just launched missiles. We need a launch. And the colonel's going, no, just stop before you press that red button. Send some MiGs up and just check it out. See if there actually are these missiles actually flying, because you're about to start World War III here. And they wanted to do it. And he said no. And he defied the authorities. And they sent the MiGs up and they actually, it's a false alarm. And apparently they fired him anyway. because he defied the authority. He should have followed orders. And he defied it. But it's like, okay, dude, if he hadn't defied his orders,
he wouldn't be around to fire him.
Yeah, if that situation was true. I can't verify independently that it was. But that would have, Russia would have launched with no provocation. America would have launched back. The world would have been in World War III if one man hadn't gone, hang on, guys, just pause here. Like, before we just willy-nilly press that red button, because it's so easy just to press the button, but no idea what the consequences are.
Defying authorities. Because there's such
because there's a spiritual authority that's deeper.
Spiritual authority, and she saw that. And she's young when she does it. She's in her early 20s.
Yeah.
And she died when she was 93. They never prosecuted her.
No.
And and also it's a beautiful love story. If you want to know, it's the most incredibly beautiful love story. And so you're feeling like the best of everything, this. I thought she was so spiritual. Because the more she's doing it, you realize, oh my God, she has a plan. And at first you're like, why would you do that? We've been brought up about treason and everything else. But to honor who you are spiritually, even in
the risk of a career. Presumably they didn't employ her anymore.
No, but she only found out when she's in her 80s. They only found out she did it when she's in her 80s. They knew someone had leaked the papers, but they never found out till she was in her 80s. And when she admits it, she says, yes, I did. But I did it to save you. I did it to save you. I did it to save you. Because they never launched them because they knew they couldn't. And America no longer had the power to do with their lives.
Yeah. Well, it created a balance of power.
Great. The courage is just, please watch it. And all those in England, watch it about your own people.
Iona's left us, so it's just Kim.
It's just beautiful.
I'm gonna have to go before.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just wrap it up with the last
statement.
Last bit. Ian, do you want to read that for us? Just those three specific applications.
It does not tempt me to look away from me for my salvation. I will not let ease.
Do you need some light?
No, that's fine. I will not let this interfere with my awareness of the source of my salvation. This has no power to remove salvation from me.
Okay. So, do you want to translate salvation into?
No, not really.
Into awakening.
No,
all you got to do is change. There's one.
Yeah, no, but I meant to read it in the first place.
Okay. So salvation becomes awakening. That does not tempt me to look away from me for my awakening, because that's really what salvation is. It's just waking up from the dream and awakening to reality. What I quite like, instead of salvation, you're being saved from something. You're actually awakening to something. It's a different focus.
Yeah.
So I'll not let this interfere with my awareness of the source of my awakening. And this has no power to remove awakening from me. I changed that to this has no power to stop me from awakening, because it's just more direct. This has no power to stop me from awakening. In this moment, I can be awake. This is what he's saying. I can be awake to who I really am right now. That's the whole point. Awakening is not sometime in the future. It's right now. Am I in that awareness right now? And if I'm not, then I can let go of the limited awareness that's blocking that awareness, and I can awaken to it right now. It's not salvation. A lot of people are like, oh well, that means eventual enlightenment, and that's always in the future. But actually, that's why one of the reasons why we translate it, because awakening is okay. Well, right now, am I going to wake up from this nightmare state I'm in, and wake up to my true awareness? And I can do that real time right now. In fact, it's the only time I ever can do it. Is right now, kind of by definition. You can't do it in the past because the past is gone. And you can't do it in the future because the future is never going to come. So you can only do it right now. In this current state, I can awaken to this deeper awareness. And so these are, they're very simple ideas and exercises, but they're very profound if you actually use them. The depth, I'm studying the course for the 16th, I think this is the 16th time I'm going through the workbook. but it's still relevant. It's still very relevant, pertinent, and like I'm reading these, I'm like, yeah, okay, like yeah, there's still grievances. I still need to drop them. So that's the whole point. It's like an ongoing practice of mind training, which is awakening you, moment by moment, and getting you to the ultimate goal of enlightenment, salvation. But moment by moment, you can be happier. All point is you drop your grievance, and I feel happier. I feel more peaceful.
No, your life is better on the
just
path.
right now.
On the path.
The moment I just feel like, okay, I've dropped that. It's like, okay, that interbulation of the grievance is gone, or at least diminished, and I feel just more peaceful. So it's a benefit immediately, right now. Not, because too often, the ego goes, it's all coming in the future. Enlightenment's going to happen one day, not right now, which of course is another version of the one day when, one day when we enlighten. Well, of course, one day never comes. It's the same hedonic, desire. You can actually crave, desire enlightenment. That's another part of the crave. I desire that future state, but it's not now. That's another trick of the ego. Yeah. So even if you're on the spiritual path, I want enlightenment, but it's always sometime in the future. Well, it's the same mechanism of desire. Yeah. Rather than what the Buddha eventually got to, after all of that stressing, straining, and striving, it was, okay, it's here now. It's right here. Sitting under the tree, and I'm in it. I got it. I'm in that awareness. It's not sometime in the future. I don't need to keep striving. It's arrived. It's a present state. That was all he got. And then it's like, okay, well, I just need to teach that to people because everyone's seeking.
And stay there.
Stay there, yeah.
Stay there.
Muji's got a nice meditation with that. It's called the invitation. And it takes you back to zero, to isness, within 23 minutes. Deconstructs, and boom.
Yeah.
So it says you can spend years and years and years learning. I'm going to show you a technique that you can get there in 20, like now.
Yeah? Does it work?
And boom. I use it a lot. I downloaded it, I bought it. Look him up. He's
the spiritual teacher.
He's also a teacher.
No, it's good.
But he's very good. But in this invitation, it's called the invitation, he just breaks it down. Boom, 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 boom. And you do this in a meditation. And you just realize exactly who you are and what you are.
Nice, man.
And it's quick. And once you realize that,
he also does something like you did. I am. Does that as well. It's very good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's based on his teachings.
I'm going to do my practice before the sun goes down.
Okay, you're going to go shoot some arrows.
I'm doing some muscle practicing now.
Oh, really?
Done the mental.
Okay, yeah.
Listen, the sun's about to go down relatively shortly, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm racing.
Better get your skates on.
Where do you stay?
I stay just luckily 5 minutes, 10 minutes away.
Well, that's all right.
You might get half an hour if you like.
That's all it takes.
Really?
At least I'll do something.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks.
Let's do it again. Like you said, let's squeeze another one in.
Yeah, maybe, maybe in 2 weeks.
Another one in 2 weeks.
Yeah, either here or maybe speak to Neva. She's still around.
I'll try.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
The worst you can
say, I'm leaving, Neva. It's the last opportunity. You might never see me again.
Look, full.
You might go, okay, great.
Nice to meet you. You're full of energy.
Yeah.
Good energy.
Let me just.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Let me just say cheers.
Thanks for bringing stuff to the point.
Yeah, man.
Thanks
for joining. I think we can end it now.
Thank you for coming.
It's also good to unmute.
So Ian, how are
Coming
you?
down.
Yeah.
Man.
Let me just stop the recording.
I'm good. I'm just carrying on, man.
Are you working?
Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Yeah. So thanks for joining. I think we can end it today because everyone's got to go. So we didn't do the text, but it was a nice session. So I hope you enjoyed that.
We took over another guy's.
No, I did. Thank you, Jono.
Yeah, it's only a pleasure. Let me just stop the recording.